For people who might not know about your organization, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Clean Energy BC is the independent power producers official association in British Columbia. So these are the companies that produce the wind and the run-of-river and the solar power. Currently our members produce about 15% of the electricity in British Columbia, and it also includes supply chain, legal teams, developers, operators, First Nations, local communities, so yeah, quite a range.
Wow. So it sounds like a real theme at the forum here in Prince George is innovation and green energy. So tell us a little bit about your work in the last year. What's happening in your world? What are the highlights?
Sure, yeah. Renewable energy is dropped in price. Wind power now is the cheapest form of any energy production in the whole planet. And solar is very close behind it. So what's great is the price of the alternatives is crashing and continues to crash. There's been over a 60% drop in the price of wind since 2009, and we're predicting another 45% drop in the next 20 years. So that's a great trend. The same thing's happening in all the other renewable technologies like solar and geothermal and tidal and wave. So that's a great trend, wonderful thing. In the last year in BC, there's been a number of our members' projects that are continuing through their development. A couple of them have finished and they're running and operating and generating electricity. So there's a whole raft of measures going on, and what we are doing now is building on our electrification of British Columbia white paper that we published last year, which is all about how do we meet our climate goals with clean energy. So we're helping the government with this Clean British Columbia plan.
Wow, exciting times.
Yes.
What has your experience been like so far here in Prince George at the Natural Resources Forum?
It's my first one, personally, and it's been great to get a lovely assortment of companies that are working in the sector together. That's really great because all of our renewable projects also rely on much of the same infrastructure as every other one. You still have the same road requirements, you have all the permitting, you have the legal structures, the finance. So it's been good to get together with all those people and have some dialogue about the different sectors and what's possible.
Excellent. So Jae, what do you, for you anyway, what are the issues at the top of your agenda?
Right now, the main issues for us are our members have over $10 billion of capital they want to invest in British Columbia in renewable energy, and we're trying to work with the government to find a way for that investment to occur and to roll out in the province to help us with our climate targets.
See, what are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing in your role?
Probably the big one is the short term. There currently are no new opportunities for developing renewable energy in BC. Even at the domestic level, if people want to put solar on the roof, they're not going to be paid anymore for energy they export to the grid if it's more than what they use in a year. So there's a lot of our models are changing that are not necessarily supporting the renewable transition. And this is very different, for instance, in a lot of other jurisdictions. Alberta is booming for renewable energy. Saskatchewan is. Actually down in California, they've committed to 2045, 100% renewable energy. So that's the equivalent of adding an extra Canada worth of electricity to their grid. So there's a lot going on all around us, but in BC we currently don't have plans for more renewable power, which we're working through because we actually need more renewable power to meet our climate goals. So
right.
Yeah.
So then what needs to change? What kind of in a perfect world would bring us there?
It's about integrating our climate policy with all of our other elements of government and the crown corporations that need to be integral to the delivery of that carbon reduction. Currently there's a lot of silos, a lot of individual pieces that are doing their own things, and many times they accidentally or inadvertently create boundaries and barriers that prevent other elements of our own sector, even our own government, from succeeding at their goals. So it's about really synergy. It's about pulling things together and mapping out all the pieces of the puzzle so we can understand that there's a whole raft of organizations, not just us, but our transport sector, our industrial sector, our mining sector, our oil, natural gas, LNG sector that would like to actually transition towards more electrification. But we need to get past some of those barriers and some of those issues that arise. So really this is about taking the systems and maturing them to the next level.
I see. Have there been any takeaway points for you so far from the forum?
Yeah, my session's happening at the end of the day, so it's going to be a whole bunch of takeaway points. In addition, yes, there definitely has been, because we've had a lot of great conversations with panelists who are bringing their insights and their perspectives, which are highly valuable. I was really impressed with the First Nations talk, the Indigenous conversations around what's happening in the First Nations sector, especially when it comes to local economic development and capacity building and skills. And I think that's one of those hugely untapped resources we have in Canada that is going to only help us as we move forward, as we start to work together and mutually succeed. So that's a great takeaway.